The thunder of outrage echoed across the naval courtroom, but Commander Ava Hayes didn't flinch. Her uniform was spotless, her jaw firm, but her eyes, they were tired. Tired of fighting battles she never chose. Strip her rank. Someone snarled from the back, and the words tore through the tension like a blade. The accusation was harsh. Treason. The punishment, if found guilty, would destroy everything she'd dedicated her life to. But Ava stood tall. She was prepared to go down with dignity until the doors swung open and everything changed. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. Ava had spent her whole career proving herself in rooms where doubt was the default. She rose faster than most expected, not because she was favored, but because she was fearless. She never cut corners, never threw blame, never slowed down. And yet here she was, standing alone, as accusations swirled like smoke. Her hands trembled only slightly. Was this how it all ended? She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. For months, she'd been quietly investigating suspicious activity within her own unit, not to gain favor, but because something felt wrong. Disappearing funds, altered reports, a private cargo ship booked under government clearance. She couldn't stay silent, but the moment she spoke up, they turned on her. She'd expected resistance, just not betrayal. One of her closest colleagues had framed her to keep her quiet. Now she stood before a tribunal, accused of the very corruption she sought to expose. Every breath she took felt heavy. Every eye on her, judging. The atmosphere was suffocating. Whispered murmurs, shifting boots, the quiet click of a pen from someone impatient for her fall. Ava could almost hear her father's voice from years ago. Truth is a weapon, but every weapon has recoil. Then, like a storm breaking, the courtroom's atmosphere changed. The doors opened. In walked Admiral Kingsley, the decorated war hero, the kind of leader who could silence a room with his presence alone. A man who rarely attended hearings. And yet, here he was, stepping directly into Ava's fight. The room grew still. Even the air seemed to hold its breath. Kingsley approached the bench with slow, deliberate steps. His eyes didn't move away from Ava, not once. This woman, he began, voice low but resounding, did what many of you didn't have the spine to do. He laid a classified file on the table. Evidence she was right, that the corruption traced far beyond anything she could have imagined. Every person in that courtroom now faced a moral reckoning. Those who demanded her rank be stripped shifted uneasily in their seats. She didn't betray us. Kingsley continued, eyes narrowing. She protected us. The evidence was undeniable. The room erupted, gasps, whispers, shame. Ava felt the weight lift from her shoulders, replaced by a trembling relief. She didn't smile, not yet, not until Kingsley turned to the tribunal and said the words she'd never dared imagine. Not only will she retain her rank, give her 2 more. For a moment, Ava was silent. Then her eyes closed, and a single tear traced her cheek. Around her, applause swelled like rising waves. Some clapped with pride, others with regret, but all of them knew they'd witnessed something rare. Justice standing tall, but not everything was triumphant. As the room cleared, Ava's gaze met the colleague who betrayed her. His eyes felt she wanted to hate him, but instead, she nodded once, not in approval, but in mercy. Sometimes strength wasn't found in winning the fight, but in choosing what came after. Because truth isn't loud, but it's unstoppable. That is unstoppable. And as Ava stepped out into the daylight, the wind felt different, softer, almost like a hand guiding her forward, toward what she had earned, and what she still had to give. Because kindness doesn't vanish, it waits, and it finds its way back. She had walked into that room in silence. Now, her footsteps echoed like a promise. Justice had a voice, and today, it was hers. If this story moved you, tell me in the comments and hit subscribe so you never miss a story like this again. We're just getting started, and your voice matters here. Don't forget to share this with someone who needs to remember that standing up isn't a weakness, it's